Welcome. Today I want to talk to you about forming good habits. Whether you're a single parent or if you're a human wanting to change, I think habit formation is an important skill to have in your belt. And first and foremost, I want to say that all habits are good habits. In which sense? Well, they all create a result. The only question you need to ask yourself is, if the result that you are getting from the habits that you experience, is this a favorable result? Does it produce the desired outcome? And if the answer to that question is no, then all you have to do is change your habit. Because essentially all habits are good as they produce a specific result. And if result is not according to your satisfaction, change the habit that created that result. Another thing I wanted to point out is habits are like energy in a sense that they cannot be extinguished. They can only be changed from something unfavorable to something favorable. So they don't completely go away, but what you do is you can replace them. And the most important thing before embarking on habit formation is deciding why you want to implement a certain habit in your life. And that why is very important because it will remind you why you started in the first place. And on those tough moments when you don't feel like doing something, when you feel tired, it will pull you through. That why that you created will pull you through those tough moments. So first determine why you want to do what you do. Why you want to make it part of your life. Why got to be so potent, so strong. For example, you like to lose a few pounds of weight. And here's why you want to do it. Summer is coming and I want to look good when I go to the beach and take off my shirt. I want to feel awesome. And is this a good enough habit? Yeah, you could say, but is it strong enough? Maybe. But what would be a stronger why? The kind of why that would stop you from reaching for the chocolate bar after a long day of work. Let's try again. Here's another why. My health is important to me. I understand if I don't spend time exercising, improving my eating habits, resting, I might as well reserve time in the future to be sick. Because I've got this one body in this one lifetime, and it is my duty and responsibility to treat it and take good care of it like it deserves. If I want to have a great life experience, I got to take care of the vehicle, this vehicle that provides me with that said experience by moving, eating, resting it, listening to what it needs, and keeping it from harm. That is a stronger why, wouldn't you say? You understand the longevity about it. So it is not the short-term gain, but rather a lifestyle choice that you're embarking on. This why will help you make good decisions in your day-to-day life. And once the why is powerful, let's move to the next step in acquiring that great habit. So in this example, we are talking about losing weight. First things first, we got to understand that change doesn't happen overnight. It takes conscious and continuous daily effort. If something looks huge and insurmountable, what do? We're going to break it into small digestible chunks. We will create a level of commitment that is necessary to do the task without fail. It is about introducing cues after which a certain action is carried out. When it comes to losing weight, it's not simply watching what you eat and how often you exercise. There are other factors in play. There is sleep, there is stress, there could be emotional trauma that could contribute to carrying that extra weight. You are a whole being, not just parts. So it's important to look at different aspects. When looking strictly at physical aspects, in other words, looking at just the fact that there is extra weight, It is like looking at the end result that was produced. We got to look at underlying reasons as to why this particular thing manifested in physical reality as such. When we carry on emotional trauma for prolonged periods of time, it takes residence in your body, whether you like it or not. It can manifest as a disease or appear as few extra pounds that you can't get rid of no matter what you try. It could be a protection mechanism from childhood that served its purpose then, but now it doesn't serve its purpose anymore and is actually causing the body harm. It's hurting the body. Sleep is also at play. Do you get adequate amount of rest during the week? How many hours do you sleep? Of course, it is unique for each one of us. There is no rule of thumb. But if you were to notice and observe how you feel after getting X amount of sleep hours, you would know that what is that number for you. Just observe and see how you feel in the morning. For me, what I notice, if I get 8 hours of sleep, I'm going to feel resilient, I'm going to feel energetic, I'm going to feel more alive, I'm going to feel full rested. And I notice it. It's such a radical change. I do get to see those glimpses on the weekends, on rare weekends, occasionally. But I'm not there yet. Just like you, I am learning and managing my habit, working towards my 8-hour goal of sleep. A little bit at a time. Now I average 6.5 to 7 hours, which is a great improvement from 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep. And I didn't get there right away. It took continuous, conscious, daily effort of committing to getting that number of hours of sleep, to getting it under control. Because in anything that you want to change and to improve, if you keep track of that thing, you would notice the improvement of it. With anything you do, whether you are saving money towards a certain goal, or whether you're losing weight and you're keeping track, how did you do, how many times you exercise, anything that you want to improve, if you keep track of that thing, chances are it will improve because you're paying constant and consistent attention to that tracking metric. So stress is also an important contributor. How much stress do you allow in your life? What stresses you out? Are you prepared to handle that stress? What are some of the practices do you do to curb your stress response? And not all stresses are created equal. For example, for the body, the stress response to intense workout is we are stressing our muscles to the point of muscular failure. And it is a good thing. It causes muscles to grow as a response to constant use. On the other hand, emotional or mental stress can be draining. It could be contributing to the extra pounds in a form of emotional eating. When you are not really hungry, but just feel bad because of one thing or another. It is important to have stress release built into your day. One way to do so is doing something that you enjoy for the sake of enjoyment and nothing else. I recommend to do 10 minutes of joy every day. Do something that sets your soul on fire as a form of stress release. Another form of stress release is simple breathing. Oftentimes we forget about this simple thing that we take for granted, which is our breath. Just slowing down and taking slowly breathing in and then easing it out, already going to reduce your stress significantly. So make sure to have those stress release practices built into your day, because every day could have some kind of level of stress, and it is how you respond to it that's going to determine your long-term scenario. Now that we covered the contributors to this particular habit or losing weight, how do we actually implement the habit? What do we do? Of course, it depends on where you are starting in the process. As a rule of thumb, commit to 5 minutes of your time every day to do one thing in the direction of your goal. So if the goal is to lose weight, What might you need to do on a daily basis to get there? If it is your goal to get into the habit of working out in the gym on a consistent basis and getting into it, not because it's something you must do, but because it is who you are. You are the person who takes care of his or her body by eating right, exercising and resting. Then you might start creating little cues and build on it little by little. Don't set yourself up with huge expectations. For example, if you're a couch potato and you want to start exercising, don't immediately assume that you're going to go and do 2 hours of workout. Yeah, maybe you'll do it once, but what are the chances you're going to come back and do it again? They're probably very limited, very small, because where you are starting from couch potato phase to extreme athlete phase, it's too far away. The beginning and end stage is too far away. So we need to build those little steps on how to get there. If your goal is 2-hour workout, how do you get there, right? So we need to break it up in stages, make it super simple. So the whole routine, first of all, again, committing, don't set yourself up with huge expectation, commit to minimal amount of time first, and then increase as you see yourself progressing. The whole routine consists of 4 stages, right? First is getting workout clothes on, putting on our sneakers, getting to the gym, and then finally working out. So 4 steps in the process, in this particular process, because we want to break it down to make it super simple so that we don't face the resistance, especially if it is a new habit that would require to push ourselves from comfort zone. So first cue is to put on our workout clothes. That's the first step in the process. So pick a time in the day when it works for you. Ideally, every day at the same time, every day that you're going to work out. Or if your goal is 3 times a week that you're aiming for to work out, then pick those times consistently so it isn't the same each time. It occurs at the same time. Then let's say you put on workout clothes after a certain activity. Let's say after you wash dishes or after you brush your teeth. As we are creating a cue for a new habit, we want to tie it to another activity that you do with the idea that after the activity is complete, we begin moving in the direction of your new habit. As we are building the new habit, we want to make it automatic. And the reason for breaking it into 4 stages so that we don't set huge expectations on outset, but rather build bit by bit. So you might spend week 1 of your new routine formation simply putting on clothes. So brushing your teeth, let's say, and then putting on workout clothes. And that's it. That's all you do. Brushing teeth, putting workout clothes. In week 2, you'll add putting on sneakers after the workout clothes. So you brush your teeth, put on your clothes, workout clothes, put on your sneakers, and that's it. And you're going to repeat. If your goal is every day, then it's every day. Or if it's 3 times a week, then it's 3 times a week. The same time, same activity. What we are doing is we're building a habit little by little, 1 step at a time. And so in week 3, you'll do step 1, 2, and 3, and finally get yourself to the gym. And you do these 3 steps for a week. Then in week 4, you add the workout because you finally at the gym. Step 4 is being at the gym, working out, and work out for just 5 minutes. See how you feel. You go, you get dressed, you put on sneakers, you get yourself to the gym, you work out for 5 minutes, and that's it, you go home. And then repeat and do those 5 minutes for another week. And then as you get better, as you get used to this routine, then add additional maybe 5 minutes to, and then progress that. Maybe you want to get to 30 minutes of workout. So that's how you get there, by adding more minutes to your workout. This might seem long, but what you are doing is reprogramming your brain and making a habit an automatic endeavor, just like brushing teeth, just like, driving a car without a second thought. This is who you are being. This is what you do, right? Just remember when you were first learning how to drive a car, how patient, how diligent you were, how meticulous you were to paying attention to all the little details, to making sure that the mirrors are set right and your seatbelt is on, and that you drive straight and not swivel around. And you learn it in progression, like what do you do first? And as you sit behind the wheel, when you start the ignition or check the mirrors, like what is the step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? You did a deliberate and conscious approach because you were learning and you were teaching your brain how to operate this new machinery, which is the car. And now, many years later, you probably sit behind the wheel. You don't even think about it. You are driving on the road safely because your brain, your body has learned to do this task so well, so good to get you from point A to point B in a safe and continuous manner that you manage to do other activities while you're driving. You're thinking about your day, you're talking, you may be eating, maybe you're speaking to somebody else while the body is driving and you're not even worrying about it. Hey, it's going, it's doing its thing. Because it got so automatic that you build it into your neurology, so you already know how to do it. So when we are building a habit, this is what we want to do, especially when we want to implement a good habit, because a good habit is going to change who you are being on a day-to-day basis. It's who you are being. You are the being who likes to keep in shape, who wants to have a good, long life filled with health, positivity, and joy and enthusiasm. So you're the person who exercises, because this is who you are. And you understand it on a deep cellular level. So this is it. This is how you form a habit, a good habit, right? So you take any habit that seems insurmountable, that seems so big, you break it into small digestible chunks, and then you implement each chunk in a continuous progression. So depending how difficult the task is, it's going to determine how long it will take you to implement. Because remember, what you're doing is you're reprogramming your mind. Just imagine, like depending on how old you are, how many years of programming you have in your system, all the habits that you learned, all years of programming, how much it took, all the verbal cues that you were getting, and everything was around you. And now you're trying to build this new habit, and 1 month might seem like a long time, but what you're doing is you're training and teaching your body how to have something good on autopilot. Today's topic is also discussed, what I covered is what I learned from Atomic Habits. It's a great book by James Clear, and I'm going to leave links in episode in the comments below, so that you can check it out for yourself. But James goes into great detail on how to implement Atomic Habits, something simple, something small on a continuous basis. And because he had to learn how to, he was injured, he had a great injury when he was in high school, and then he had to learn how to walk by watching his sister from scratch, from the beginning, and then he was able to achieve great things. So he talks about Atomic Habits, and you can check out in the link below. Another great book that I can recommend is called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and he's talking about building, improving in 1 degree at a time in different areas of your life, but similar concept by forming a habit and then keeping it sustainable, practicing it just a little bit at a time, 1 degree change at a time. And sometimes you might even not notice the change, but only looking back, you would see great improvement. So I hope this was beneficial. If you'd like to delve in further into habit formation, you can reach out to me, or you can read the book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in future videos.